The Detroit Lions have 5 more games to go in the 2025 NFL season. And while there's not much excitement, there's not much hope, there is still a chance that the Detroit Lions can make the playoffs. And it's up to Dan Campbell and these guys that play this game to go on whatever run that they can go on. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Anything less than a Super Bowl appearance is a failure. But we are in the season. We're here for a reason. And I'm going to keep watching until it's over. The season is too short, man. We spent enough time being eliminated in week 4. You know I'm being hyperbolic here, but every Lions fans know what I mean. We spent our entire existence watching this team be eliminated. I mean, just 4 years ago, we didn't win a game until week 13. So it hasn't been that long ago. And 3 years ago, we started 1-6. And the hole was so great that we couldn't even make the playoffs, even though the destiny of making the playoffs was out of our hands. And it's just like that now. It's a repeat of 2022 with more expectations and less losses. This feels a lot like the 2022 season, but in reverse. Instead of getting better and going on the run, we have expectations and we are falling short. So I want to also say that my confidence in this team is not about necessarily the guys on the field. These guys go out there and they play to the best of their ability. My confidence in this team boils down to that ability and the fact that Brad Holmes has not put these guys in a position to win it all. And the way that you've been drafting, the way that you've been filling the roster, he hasn't put you in the best position. Now, coach is to blame for that as well. Sometimes you got to take the points, bro. Take the points. This ain't 2021 anymore. You ain't the first pick in a draft through 17 weeks of the season. Take the points sometime, Dan, and get an offensive play caller. That's why my only focus is Brad Holmes. I put out a tweet today that I believe says a lot. And it might be video worthy, so I'll save it. So it's not that I'm a bandwagon fan. It's not that I've given up on this season. It is the fact that for the Detroit Lions to win with this current roster, we are going to have to be perfect. Literally in the playoffs, you have to be perfect. That's just the way it is. Whatever team goes 4-0 wins the Super Bowl, right? But this team is going to have to be perfect because of the deficiencies that Brad Holmes has put us in. That's just where I'm at. And I'm not going to change. So I'm going to support my team. I'm still on the season ticket wait list. I'm still all of those things. But at the same time, my confidence, I don't think that we have the personnel this year to win it all. I could be wrong, but this Thursday is going to prove a lot and go a lot to prove whether or not that is true or not. So how can the Detroit Lions make the playoffs? It's not over till it's over. Dan Campbell knows the urgency. During his press conference today, he said the last time that he looked at the standings and all of that stuff was during, which I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine coaching a football team, but I also couldn't imagine not being very hyper aware of what's going on around you. But I understand it because if he gets caught up in that, if the players get caught up in that, then that's when they start to get unfocused. They might try a little too hard. And like he said in his press conference, they might try to do other people's job because they have to make up and so it must be tough to have players give them a sense of urgency and also keep them focused and keep the noise, the riffraff. Kirby Joseph deleted his Twitter account to lock in. Everybody was panicking yesterday, but he deleted his Twitter account to lock in, which is very commendable. So if any team can do it, it's the Detroit Lions. It's the Detroit Lions. However, we might not have enough time. So how can the Detroit Lions make the playoffs? Week 14 edition. We're going to do one of these after sometimes once a week, sometimes twice a week. Okay? So this will probably be the only time that we do it this week because we already know the outcome of next week as well. But it might change. Well, we don't know the outcome. We know what has to be done for the Lions. At least you will know. If you haven't done this yourself, you will know. So maybe we do another one. Maybe we wait because nothing can change for the Lions. The only thing I'll let you see. All right. So Here is the current playoff matchup. This is the playoff machine. Now, I have gone through these for the next couple of weeks. We are in week 13. Week 13 officially ended last night, Monday Night Football. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, week 13, this tab will disappear. And then you just go in week 14. So all the outcomes of week 13 are already final. You see here, you can't click it. Once the game has happened and the outcome has happened, you cannot click or pick a winner. So let's go to week 14. This is what I think. This is not what I think is going to happen. I actually think that the Cowboys are going to win this game simply because the Lions have not beaten the team. And spoiler alert, I think I'm not going to pick the Lions again until the team is over 500. I'm not going to pick the Lions again until they beat a team that is over 500. I'm going to pick, or they play a team that is under 500. That's just, and it's not even a hate or anything like that. It's just this team has beat one team over 500. It's time to beat another one. Every time I pick them, every time I pick based on the stats, which is what I go by, right? So if you don't want me to be biased, then I'm going to pick the Cowboys. So I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game. Spoiler alert. I'll make that come out either later today or tomorrow. I did not pick anything that was in the AFC that didn't involve moving the Detroit Lions up. I do think even though JJ McCarthy is going to be back, I think the Washington Commanders are going to win that game. The way that they played on Sunday night, they're eliminated from playoff contention, but they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks, which doesn't help the Detroit Lions, by them winning. I'm also going to take the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers winning would be huge, but I'll show you what it'll do in a second. The LA Rams should beat the eliminated Cardinals. They are eliminated from playoff contention. I actually didn't pick anything in the AFC, and I think because of the injury to Justin Herbert's hand, that I don't know how that's going to affect him. He's even going to play. I think the Eagles are going to win that game. Now, I hope that there's a few other results that I wouldn't mind the Chargers win. I would not mind a different win as well. Now, let's look at this here. I really don't want to show you what will happen because I've already picked week 15 as well. But let's put it like this. No matter what happens in this game, it doesn't help the Detroit Lions this week. They will not be in the playoffs this week, period. It is not until week 15. We go to week 15. And I picked the Detroit Lions to win this game simply for this segment. But I'll show you what's going to happen. So you can see here, I went through it and picked all the games that can affect the Detroit Lions. I might have picked them all. As a matter of fact, I did. All right, so check this out. So if we go to, let's do this. Let's go to, you can see here with a victory over a loss in week 13. A win in week 14 and a win in week 15 puts us as the 7th seed. Let's go back to week 14 and let's select the Dallas Cowboys. But we still beat the Rams. Not in. Okay, let's go. Let's pick the Lions. Let's go to the Rams in week 15. Let's pick the Rams in week 14. See what happens? The Lions disappear. So in order for the Detroit Lions to be in the playoffs, okay, you follow me here? They have to win their next 2 games. They have to win against the Dallas Cowboys, and they need to beat the LA Rams. If they do that, they will be in the playoffs. That is the only way that they will be in the playoffs. That's it. Because if we go to week 14 and we see what teams could affect the Lions, let's take a Falcons. Let's pick a Falcons upset. We'll take a Falcons upset in week 14 and the 49ers are off. Let's go to week 15. And I already got the Colts winning that game. And it doesn't matter. So let's go back to week 14. Let's pick it like it's probably going to turn out. So we need to win the next 2 weeks. So no matter what happens in week 14, it does not matter with a win or a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. We are not in the playoffs after week 14. If we go to week 15 and everything goes out like I said it would, okay, and we lose to the Rams, we're out. If we beat the Rams, we're in. Just barely. just barely in. So if you are following along from the way that I've done this, the only way, and I'm usually spot on when I use this thing. I've been doing this for 4 years on this channel. You can go back and check the archives. The Lions cannot get in the playoffs after week 14, regardless of if they win or lose against the Dallas Cowboys. They're so far behind. It is going to take a win against the Cowboys, a win against the Rams. We're going to need I don't even think that this matters. If we pick the Green Bay Packers, so we actually need a bear. That's crazy. Let's go here. So we already know then. We need a Bears win. Check, that's crazy, bro. Because I didn't do this. I didn't do this. So that's even another layer. So we need a Bears win. We need to win twice, and we need a Bears win this week. So we need our former offensive coordinator, now head coach of the Chicago Bears, to beat the Green Bay Packers because they swept us, and we need to win our next 2 games in order to get in the playoffs. Wow. That's what we need to happen. And that will just put us in the 7th seed, and then we could maybe work our way up from there. So now you know what needs to be done. If we lose, the reason that I didn't do if we lose, because these are separate videos. Like right now, we're taking up how it can happen. Right now, we're not in it. So we're not worried about how we gonna miss out. I started to change the series to why the Detroit Lions are going to miss the playoffs. Because here's the crazy part. And this is statistical fact. All right, statistical fact. So what I'm about to say may upset some of you. However, it's statistical fact that the Detroit Lions, out of their 7-5 record, they have beat one team that was over 500 at the time that they played them, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That one team has kind of spiraled out of control, had some injuries, not the same. They're now 7-5. They were 5-1 when we played them. They went 2-4 since. Follow me? So if we use those statistics and we go with what the current records of our opposition are right now, we are going to lose to the Cowboys. We're going to lose to the Rams. The Steelers right now are 6-6, so they're 500. So we can say we can beat them because we beat plenty of teams that were at the 500 mark. We should theoretically beat the Vikings because they are spiraling out of control, but they beat us before. So that's up in the air. And then we will lose to the Bears unless the Bears collapse and all of a sudden they're 9-7 when they play us. But it doesn't matter because they are also at that point, they cannot have, the Bears cannot have a losing record no matter what. They are going to be 9-8 at worst. So with the statistical data that I've just given you, theoretically, the Detroit Lions could go 1 or 2-3. They could go 1-4, 2-3, and wind up 9-8, missing the playoffs to book in to finish the season, which would be crazy because when I started this video, I told you that it reminded me a lot. This season reminds me of 2022. And wouldn't that be crazy if we finish the season at 9-8 and just miss the playoffs? So no matter what happens this week, win or lose, the Lions cannot and will not be in the playoffs to start week 15. The best case scenario is that we need a Bears win. We need a Bears win over the Packers. We would need a Denver Bronco win over the Green Bay Packers. So we need the Packers to drop 2 in a row. And even if the Bears wind up dropping 2, it wouldn't matter anyway. Let me see. If the Bears, let's just say, for the sake of this, if the Bears drop 2 in a row, what would that do? Bears drop 2 in a row. Does that help us? It actually puts the Bears out and puts us in the 7th seed. which is insane, puts the Packers in the driver's seat in the North. So the Bears can lose the first seed and drop completely out of the playoffs. If we were to win 2 in a row, the Bears lose 2 in a row, they would drop completely out of the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers would take over the first seed. That is crazy. That's crazy. So that is another way that the Detroit Lions could get in the playoffs. So we are in kind of a win-win situation sitting this week. But the most important thing that we have to do is win on Thursday. It needs to win on Thursday. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. I have gotten a lot of support ever since I did mention that we are going to turn on subscriber-only comments. It will allow me to keep out the riff-raff, and it will also allow me to be able to focus on the comment section. The primary reason that I'm doing this is because this channel is for the fans. We get a lot of engagement, and it becomes very difficult for me to engage with everybody with the amount of engagement we get, and which I'm grateful for, and the amount of content that I put out. So if I put out 5 videos a day, and that's 100 comments, some get 20, some get 200. It'll allow me to be able to interact a bit more. I can't promise I'll get to every comment still, depending on what happens, but it'll allow me, I would assume, to be more active in the comment section, because I try to be active in the comment section. I really do. But sometimes it gets really, really difficult with the amount of content I put out, not just on this channel, but I have several other channels as well that I'm focusing on. So that's the primary reason. I love the fact that YouTube is doing this, and it'll really make people decide what they want to do. You can still watch. There's nothing wrong with that, but to comment, you're going to have to be a sub of at least one day. And I love it, because if you unsubscribe, I would assume that resets, and then you have to be a subscriber again. So if you want to subscribe to comment and then unsubscribe because you in your feelings, and then you want to comment on something on yesterday's video, you're going to subscribe. But by the time you can comment, that's going to be old news. So I would, and we are at the making of this video, we are 2 subscribers away from 3,200 subscribers, man. Unbelievable. Anyway, this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. For everybody that doesn't skip that part, I appreciate you. I know it's redundant. I know it sounds like I really don't care, but everything that I say is 100% heartfelt. I say it on every video, because it truly is. It's because of you I get to do what I do. If you didn't watch these videos, if you didn't engage with them, so if you stick around for that, I appreciate you, because YouTube has a little feature that tells you that people commonly skip this part. So if you listen to this, I appreciate you. I really do. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, for real, go Lions. Let's finish this thing, man. Next year, look, the off season is the off season, and it's going to be explosive. It's going to be electric. It's going to be long. So let's do this thing, man. Let's give it all that we got and go out as tough as possible. See you next time.